Hey folks, Steve here with a very special wrap-up video. I am on my way home, currently awaiting a ferry here in Washington to get back home after the completion of Game On 2024. So I want to do a quick wrap-up video while I'm waiting, just to hit up a couple of topics. So by the time this video gets put up, you will have seen my kind of impromptu Red Strike unboxing video. That is surely not the best unboxing video, but one that I felt compelled to make when I got it. So, well, maybe I should start from the beginning of the whole con. So we did a couple of short videos covering where we got with Panzer's Last Stand as far as I got playing it, and some of the coverage of Arquebus, the Battle of Pavia, which we'll talk about how that wound up here in a second. So just to kind of round things up, I firstly want to say, Game On is a really great convention. The people are great. The people who run it are great. We always have a good time. My family and I there, and we had another good year. It was really a fantastic time. My wife and daughter are traveling separately in a separate vehicle and are home now, and I'm following a bit later. So BCS, fantastic time with Panzer's Last Stand again. I could kind of enjoy the fact that I was certainly at the top of my BCS game, my skills of playing BCS during that campaign playthrough, and was able to advise others on the rules and just how for my Axis partner and I how we could advance and get close to where we needed to be for victory there. Now, based on what I had heard after I stopped playing, that the Axis really couldn't, had some bad luck and couldn't quite get to where we needed to be able to win the scenario. But and they ended up stopping it at some point. But while I was there, I mean, we did a pretty good job. I felt like I all of my AeroCorps preparation had really paid off and being able to play the game well, and that was really good. And so I actually so when I ended up going home for a couple of days before returning to the convention over the last 24 hours, I actually set up the maps for baptism by fire, and so I have that. I don't have the scenario set up, but I think when I get back home and this week, as I can kind of get organized back to normal life, I may be jumping through a expedited playthrough of Baptism by Fire, and so I hope to maybe play through that very quickly. It's not a very counter dense game. It's arguably not much bigger or smaller than AeroCorps, other than the map covers more. You have more map coverage. There's more maps to set up, and the scale of the hexes is more. There's more hexes, I guess, per square inch. So um, I would love to run through Baptism by Fire here in the very near future because I'm on that BCS high right now, just having a really good time with BCS. Would really like to play that, get that played through, and feel good about making more progress, experiencing all the BCS games. So very likely we'll see Baptism by Fire on the channel coming very very soon. Um, my evening games on those first 2 days were Arquebus, and kind of an interesting start. That game has a system, an initiative system, where you have, one side gets to go and may repeatedly get to go until they fail a die roll or the opponent uses a finite number of markers to try to interrupt and steal the initiative back. And my opponent, my friend Mark, managed to take the initiative from me. I'm the Spanish, he's the French, pretty early, and then it took me a long time to get rolling again. Um, I had an entire formation of arquebusiers scattered to the winds and having to retire and recover. And in that game, you have standards that are sort of, you place them in a safe location, and that's where your units try to rally and reform. So I had a bunch of units knocked back. He had some advancing pikemen. I advanced my sword and buckler units that had an arquebusier contingent with each one. And I think what became evident, because it's been a couple years since he and I had played Arquebus Men of Iron series, remembering just how potent a good melee unit with a ranged component can really be, that combined arms factor where you could fire an arquebus shot, disorder them, and then hit them with shock. And I ended up just totally annihilating his pikemen, a formation of pikemen on the French side. But he had smartly deployed artillery. There were some firing lanes that were really tough to get around. And as we were playing, and my trouble was on the second evening, I had a time pressure because I really needed to drive home so that my wife could come to the convention. And I decided to take some risky moves with my own pikemen, my assortment of pikemen, who had arquebusier contingents with them. And I tried to basically do a mass assault, and it didn't go well. Don't run at the guys with the guns, which is obvious common sense. But I threw that out the window to try to achieve a quick victory, and it went backwards on me very very poorly. I got really hosed on the opposed missile firing die rolls, and I was in rough shape. So much so that we were actually rolling to see if the Spanish army routed, and so I kind of just said, "Hey, I got to get on the road. Let's call it." I surrender. And what's a bummer is the Spanish are favored 2-1 to win that battle, so I kind of had to, um, eat it a little bit on that one. But taking a big risk for high reward sometimes hurts you. So um, those were the primary games really of my playtime at the convention. And after that, my wife had entered the fray, and she played in first Here I Stand. She played England, and she performed quite well. I think she wound up in second place at the end of that, where there was an Ottoman victory where the Ottomans kind of stayed away from the Habsburgs and then ended up invading northern Italy and took over Milan. And so by the end of that game, apparently, there were pictures of a Ottoman-controlled Milan that had been converted to Protestantism. So it was a crazy game. My wife did very well as England was getting closer to victory, but the Ottomans kind of ran away with a really great position that they had crafted for themselves. But hey, second place is in a game like Here I Stand is you still feel good because you performed well. So she did really good there. And then that evening, she also played a campaign of Fire in the Lake. I think they were starting in 1968. So 1968 campaign of Fire in the Lake. And my wife is very good at Fire in the Lake. She's very, very good. She played the VC, and she ended up winning. Well, she was far exceeding her victory condition threshold, and the night got so late that they just needed to call it before the next coup card. They were running out of time, and it just sort of defaulted to her victory because she was commanding the table basically at that point, and had deprived the coin forces of control of Saigon when she had played the Tet Offensive card at some point. So she did very well at that. She won that, and then she got to play on Saturday. They had played the full campaign of Virgin Queen, and she played England again and performed quite well there and was in second place as well, losing to France by just a point or two, I guess. And she did well with Francis Drake, got circumnavigation. If you're not familiar with that game, there's a lot of nuance in Chrome, historical Chrome, in the game, but she performed quite well there as well. So always good that hey, I'm not there, but she's representing the family and doing a good job, and it's great. And she's probably got more hours playing Here I Stand, Virgin Queen, and Fire in the Lake than I do at this point. So she'll be the shark in the family for those games for sure. Um, and Saturday night, I ended up just having good long conversations with friends. Um, the word of the evening was probably reconciliation. I had to repair some relationships with a friend of mine, and got to talking and catching up. Folks I hadn't seen or talked to in several years, and reconnect, which was really good. I guess that's the other thing about conventions. It's more than just getting to play the games you like. It's getting to see the friends that you haven't seen in a year, which is often the case if you can't consistently get together in game. Um, so seeing people, that was really good. Getting to talk to people, a huge highlight. And for the door prize drawing, I got my name called. They kind of randomize. They get prizes right from different publishers. I'm not exactly sure how they do that, if they're buying them or if they're just getting, like, I don't understand how they get the door prizes. There was a whole set, and my name got called, and sure enough, I managed to snag a copy of VUCA Simulations Red Strike. And boy, what a package that is! VUCA did a very good job with the component quality, the production, the whole thing looks very good. Um, and so I got the chance to kind of peruse through that with the unboxing video I did. And this morning, right before I left, I managed to catch the designer, Eve Rettel, and got him to sign my copy. So it has my name on it and says "Game On," and he signed it. So that is a copy that will be hard to sell to someone else because it has my name on it. But I don't think I would sell it. I think it'll be one of those, like, someone's gonna have to accept it when I die kind of thing. With it being signed the way that it is. I mean, it's really cool, and I really look forward to getting to play that too. So I'm kind of, I get into um, the awkwardness that is the, oh gosh, what am I going to play next when I get home? Because I have things in mind. I was certainly going to want to jump into Axis Empires Ultimate Edition, but now I got Baptism by Fire that I'm wanting to jump into, and then now I have Red Strike. I didn't think I was going to get Red Strike, or I wasn't, if I was going to get around to buying it, I probably wasn't, just because it's not it's not a cheap game. I mean, you get a lot for what you're buying. But there was definitely a, like, oh well, it'd be nice to get it, and it would be nice to get the door prize of it, and so I did. And now it's sort of looking at me, and I'm looking at it, and like, well, maybe I'd like to play Red Strike here very soon. I mean, I've got a couple of friends who would play it as an opposed game, so I kind of owe it to myself to try to learn it. What seems to be the really nice thing with the Red Strike package is that it comes with a lot of smaller scenarios that you can learn the system with. Um, the other interesting thing is I got to just sit down with the designer and talk for a little while we were standing, but I was able to hang out with the designer, ask questions, and just kind of get his thoughts on things. And um, it sounded like maybe at some point Gulf Strike might get reprinted, not via VUCA, maybe via Compass Games, but he didn't really. I couldn't tell if there was like an inside track situation with that. So that would be very cool if Gulf Strike got redone. I have a copy that I had gotten from someone, but to have Gulf Strike get a facelift and have a new edition, like a lot of some Pacific War got redone by GMT. If Gulf Strike gets done by Compass, I think that'd be really cool. Um, and obviously Red Strike is adapted, so the rule set's not 1-to-1 with Gulf Strike, but it seems like a pretty cool system. A lot included there, set in 1989, so hypothetical Third World War kind of situation, but um, it's just the components are really great. It's a pretty amazing package. Obviously, VUCA has really amazing components, and then just the way they handle things. They're making a splash with a lot of good products, it seems like, and I really haven't purchased many. In fact, I have I have their Frederick the Great game, and I have Red Strike. So a lot of interesting things there, that I would like to play more of their stuff, just seeing the quality of what they produce. So all in all, Game On 2024, very successful. Really glad that I was able to take the time to attend, and the tough thing is always getting asked, like, oh, are you going to, my friends and people I know will ask me, oh, are you going to this convention or that convention? And right now, with the busyness of my life, going to any more than Game On is really hard, and I don't think we're going to be able to do more for a while. Sometimes we go to a convention called Dragonflight. We've done that before. We've gone to BotosCon up in Canada. We've done those in the past, but it's been a long time, and it's so hard to get away that long and not be at home. So Game On's at least good. It's the one I always make sure to go to. We'll continue to go to every year. I think this is, like, I don't know, I've been here going to Game On for, it must be getting close to 10 years, if not 10 years. I don't think it's quite 10 years, but It's pretty close to that. So a lot of fond memories, a lot of good connections made. Already talking to people about like what we might want to play next year. Justin Fastino sounded like he wanted to play Nations in Arms, and I quite like that game. So that'd be fun to play in a convention setting. I tried that with people who didn't know the rules, and that wasn't a good idea. But if somebody who's really interested and wants to play it, like Justin or other folks, I think it could be a really good experience. So, yeah, guys, that was really good time. Now I got to go back to the regular old schedule, regular old life, and more gaming coverage to come. Lots of good stuff that I want to get to. So we'll do that all in time. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. If you've been watching it, the 15 minutes. So this is a short video for me, 16 minutes. So yeah, take care, guys. See you in the next one. Take care. Keep gaming.